Welcome back to the Raven Golf Club and the Destin Golf and Beach Resort near Miramar Beach, Florida, and our continuing coverage of the Sun Belt Conference Men's Golf Championships. And you're looking down the fairway at number 9 as our first groups that began play at the 10th hole earlier today with the split tees is on its way back up number 9. We say they're on their way back up, but as you can see, somebody's got some difficulty here. And we're not exactly sure who it is. It is somebody out of our first group, the group of Matt Murphy of Troy, Jack Tolson of Louisiana, and Candler Rice of Appalachian State. Somebody's still searching for a ball, and you can see that the winds have not abated. In fact, they've gotten even worse. And you see our first group that'll be coming through here at number 9. They'll be finishing up at 9 as this group started over at number 10. Couple of freshmen in Mac Murphy of Troy and Candler Rice of Appalachian State, and sophomore Jack Tolson from Louisiana. We'll be covering action here on numbers 9 and 18 for the rest of the day today, and we say the rest of the day because we're not exactly sure how long that is. So to be honest, there's some rain in the area that looks like it's headed our way here at the golf course. So we'll have to just play it by ear and see what happens from here. The winds have been gusting all day long, but we haven't had any rain issues. There was some overnight rain in the Destin area, but so far none today. That could change here. If the forecasts are right, that could change here in about the next 30 minutes. As there you see our view of the radar. And you see that little black dot right in the middle of the screen? That would be us. And you see that green stuff coming from the left? That would be rain. If we don't get hard rain, we'll be okay. And fortunately, all the stuff that's in the yellow and the red looks like it's going north of us. So far, no reports of lightning or anything. But we'll wait and see. And they're already starting to feel a few raindrops out on the golf course. So we will wait and see what happens, but we will, of course, continue to play as long as we possibly can, as long as there is no danger to the players, and that's, of course, the primary and most important thing. If there is any lightning seen within the immediate area, within 8 or 10 mile radius, of course, they'll obviously clear the golf course in a hurry because of the hazard of lightning. But we won't worry about that until that happens. And right now we're going to go out and look at the 18th hole where we'll be starting off play with our backside groups, our groups that started on the front actually, and they will be finishing up play on the backside here as we'll have action at the 18th in just a few minutes. Right now all our action is on the 9th hole as the groups that started at number 10 are finishing up. There you see that 9th hole. A lot of trouble all the way down the left side as water covers the whole left, and depending on the pin location, could be very interesting. Now, today the pin's right in the middle of the green, so it's not quite as challenging for these players as a far left location. You can see coming up how a far left pin at that green would be really a challenge to these players because it does slope off to the water everywhere on that side. Now, the pin today's in the middle, so it will be a little bit different. 460 yards is what it's exactly playing today with the pin right in the middle of what is a very undulating green. And you'll see action out there on number 9. That's Mac Murphy, freshman for Troy from Decatur, Alabama, having to drop. He was over in the hazard area, and he'll have to take a drop. And, of course, then he'll be able to place because it'll roll back into the hazard once again. And another drop and another roll over, and now he'll be able to place it there in play. Getting some, it's like now he'll place it. Candler Rice of Appalachian State is over there to watch, and even when he places it, it's on such a slope that it's rolling back down into the hazard area. Mac Murphy 3 over. Last score report we got through 14 holes. He's got a couple of birdies on his card, 5 bogeys today. So he is 3 over for his round. This is action on the 9th hole. Mentioned Appalachian State. Actually, 2 players obviously in trouble on that side, is also having to take a drop is Candler Rice, and he's dropping on the cart path. I assume it's a cart path because the ball's hopping pretty hard off of what would be, it looks like it's bouncing on concrete, but we don't know the where exactly that hazard line juts out there. So both players having to take a drop from that side. Also not sure where Jack Tolson's ball is. And there is, you can see on this view from the tee here at the ninth, so that cart path does go down that right side, and the players might have just been on the cart path. So if they're on the cart path, you get a free drop off of there, so it's not really a penalty. It's only if you go all the way past that cart path that you get over into the hazard area. So it'll be Murphy to hit his, what we hope is his second shot. Hope he didn't have to take a penalty from that drop. Freshman with a 78 stroke average this year, 5th on the team, low round of 72 this year as he's got his second shot coming in here to the green. Pins in the middle here at number 9, and that Candler Rice will do the same thing. So I'm reasonably sure that, and they're moving it with they're using the 2 clubs from the path, so probably it was just the cart path. Hopefully that's all it was, and there won't be any penalty incurred by either one of these 2 players. Rice, a freshman from Asheville, Alabama, 75.18 stroke average this year, ranked him 4th on the team, had a low round of 69. Had those in both the spring and the fall. He had a 69 at the Phoenix Invitational and a 69 in the fall, and at the Wofford Invitational in the spring, where he shot .214 and finished tied for 11th individually. That was his best finish of the year. So it'll be Rice. And quickly we're going to go over to the 18th, and our first group coming through at 18. This is States Fort of Coastal Carolina, sophomore from Evans, Georgia. Fort 7 over par through 15 holes today. He's got a couple of double bogeys on his card and 3 other bogeys. As he hits his second shot in here to the 18th green, he's found the putting surface here. Pin at 18 is far on the left, middle front to back on a very deep green, so but it's only 4 paces on from the left side, so players can play for the middle of the green. That's probably the safe shot with all that trouble around 18. So States Fort is Coastal Carolina safely on in 2 at 18, and we go back to 9. And Candler Rice about to hit his second shot. Long par 4. Water will come into play as his second shot's going to roll just off on the left side. Quickly back over to 18. Second shot, I don't know if that was Rayburn or Santini. Probably that was Thibaut Santini of ULM. Yep, that's who that is. So he'll be working his way up, and he'll be just off the green. And both Brooks Rayburn of South Alabama and States Fort of Coastal Carolina will have birdie putts here, although long birdie putts, and Santini is just off the back edge. First group coming up here on 18, finishing up play for the day. States Fort of Coastal Carolina, Brooks Rayburn of South Alabama, and Thibaut Santini of ULM. Fort, as we said, 7 over par through 15 holes today. Brooks Rayburn standing at 2 over through 15. He's got a couple of birdies and 4 bogeys. He birdied the 4th and birdied the 12th. And here's the group that's coming up on number 9 now and finishing play here at the 9th. You saw Mac Murphy and Candler Rice hitting their shots after getting in trouble over on the right side. Jack Tolson of Louisiana, the 3rd member of that group, didn't see him hit his second shot, but it looks like he is handy at the green, and just behind it, more trouble in there for Mac Murphy of Troy, as his second shot winds up in the pine straw, pine trees, and pine cones located next to the 9th green. So he's going to have a tough third shot coming at this green. Looks like Jack Tolson's ball is right there in the middle of your screen. So in good shape here to get up and down, as we'll go back to the number 9 tee. And our second group getting set to hit their tee shots. Tristan Elston of Louisiana. Looks like he'll be first to hit. Elston, a junior from Baton Rouge, has struggled today. He is 6 over through 14 holes. Has 6 bogeys and 8 pars so far today, hitting the driver here at the 9th. We'll update you as soon as we get his other scores on this side as he hits his tee ball here. And we got action at the 9th and the 18th all over the golf course, as on the green at number 9, this is Mac Murphy coming up short, and he'll be hitting his 4th from there after getting in trouble both off the tee and with his approach shot. Jack Tolson in the red and Candler Rice in the white at your bottom right. Looks like it'll be Tolson to hit his third shot first, back on the number 9 tee. Connor Futrell of Troy with his tee shot here at the 9th. And at the top right of your screen, States Ford of Coastal Carolina. Looks like he's lining up his putt. Brooks Rayburn and Thibaut Santini, both Rayburn and Ford with birdie putts. Santini was just off the back of the green. Tolson's approach shot here at the bottom right of your screen on the 9th green comes up a couple feet short. He'll have that left for par. As we'll go back to the top left of your screen on the 18th tee, this is Morgan Deneen of Coastal Carolina. And back to the 18th green, States Fort of Coastal Carolina with a birdie putt. All the way across the green, and it's going to break right and keep going right and going back, slanting toward the back edge of that green. Breaks toward the water here all the way up and down number 18. So Fort will have that left for a tough par. As we'll go back to the 18 tee, Hogan Airy of UL Monroe with his tee shot. Airy making his 3rd appearance in the tournament. On the 18 green, Brooks Rayburn from South Alabama with his birdie putt, and it also slides by, and it also heads back toward the back end of the green. So players, and this ball is still rolling. Wind having an effect on that. Santini with his chip shot. He's about 4 feet to the right of the pin. On the 18th tee, top left of your screen, Peter Stalbo of South Alabama. With his tee ball. Bottom right, Candler Rice of Appalachian State looking to save par here at the 9th, his final hole of the day. Top right of your picture, States Fort lips out a birdie putt, or rather a par putt, as he hit his birdie putt well past. So States Fort will wind up with a bogey here on his final hole at the 18th. And now Brooks Rayburn will be trying to save par. Rayburn 2 over through 15 holes today, a couple of birdies and 4 bogeys. And he's going to take a bogey here at 18, and can't believe that ball broke to the left, as he'll tap in for a bogey, and he'll finish up unofficially at 3 over par. And now Thibaut Santini will, well, actually first it's going to be, oh, this is switching to number 9 quickly. This is Mac Murphy of Troy, who's been in trouble off the tee, in trouble to the side, as quickly back will go to number 18. And with the wind, Thibaut Santini is going to back off and now step back in for a par putt. He was off the back edge and chipped to that point. So Santini trying to finish up, and he'll roll that one past the left lip. And 3 bogeys at 18 for this group, and quickly back over to the 9th. Mac Murphy rolls in his bogey putt after, we believe, a bogey. Don't think that was a penalty that he had to drop out in the fairway. And now Jack Tolson of Louisiana will have this putt for par. Just missed the green on the right side and chipped to that point. Tolson rattles that one in, takes a look at it, and he'll walk away with a par here at 18. And Candler Rice of Appalachian State finishing up with bogey here at the 9th hole. These groups wrapping up play. They'll probably be glad of it, as we think the rain is likely not that far away, but we'll hope for the best, as the first group is finished up here at 9, and our second group is out in the fairway. You see them in the background. Here's another look at the 18th hole. So we'll go to next. 431 yards. That's what it's playing at today. And you see the water that off the tee, that lone pine tree at the edge of the water is a pretty good aiming point if you want to try to cut off as much of this as you can. Now, these players, of course, will be playing it from further back, so it's going to be test to see how much they can cut off. If they can cut off a good bit, you turn this dogleg actually into a pretty easy approach shot. But there is trouble up around the green, and you see the whole green slopes to the left. Water and that bunker will also come into play, because the pin is on the left side, way on the left. It's in the middle of the green, but only 4 paces on from the left edge of the green. So it's pretty much tucked back there. Water and the bunker will both come into play. Not so much the little grove of trees that sits on the right side of the fairway that just came into view there. It's just that bunker and the water that are the hazards today here at the 18th. And in the fairway on the 18th, you're looking at Peter Stalbo of South Alabama. Stalbo is even par through 15 holes today. He's got 3 birdies, 1 bogey, but he took a double bogey at the par 4 9th hole. That's got him at even par. Quickly, we'll go to 9. This is Connor Futrell of Troy with his second shot. I think that might be Tristan Elston of Louisiana's ball that's right in front of us, as Futrell is safely on the green. Back we go to 18. Peter Stalbo in the middle of the fairway. Farther up on your left side of your screen, that's Morgan Deneen of Coastal Carolina. Hogan Airy of UL Monroe, the third member of this group, as Stalbo's second shot's on the way to the 18th green. You see the wind gusting a little bit. It's all the way up to about 25 miles an hour now. And he's safely on the front edge. And now Tristan Elston of Louisiana about to hit his shot. Walter Brinker of Appalachian State is already safely on the green and in pretty good range for a birdie putt as Elston gets set. He had the bigger of the 3 drives here, and this is his approach shot on number 9. And he's going to push it off a little bit to the right, but it's going to kick back on the green, and it's going to roll back down that undulation there, and he'll have a long putt at his birdie. As quickly we go back to 18, and Morgan Deneen of Coastal Carolina is safely on the front edge of the green. You can see the wind really starting to kick up now. Last recorded measurement we got was about 25 miles an hour. See the flag, and every once in a while you can see some of the trees moving in the background as our second group makes its way up to the 18th green. Club selection is going to become very important for these guys. Peter Stalbo from South Alabama, you saw him just a moment ago, he stepped back and waited for some of the wind to die down just a couple minutes ago, and that's going to be the case, I'm sure, from here on in for a lot of these guys as we're back over at the number 9 green. That's Connor Futrell of Troy. Looks like he's going to putt first. Futrell's 3 over par, last score we got through 14. He's got 1 birdie on the par 5 17th hole, but 4 bogeys on his round. Elston and Futrell are both up in the right front of this green. Brinker of Appalachian State didn't get a chance to see his second shot, but he's in a lot closer. He's actually got a decent run at a birdie. And it looks like it will be Futrell to hit first. Freshman from Tallahassee, Florida. 75.08 stroke average this year. That's second on the Troy team. Had a low round of 68 at the Tiger Invitational. And you take a look at 9 and 18, both from a couple of different angles, as over on the 18th green. Long birdie run for, might have been Hogan Airy over there from ULM, and runs it pretty well past as the wind picks it up. Yep, and you see him looking like, look how much the wind blew that ball. So Hogan Airy's got a difficult par putt left coming back up the hill on the top right of your screen. Bottom right of your screen, Tristan Elston of Louisiana taking a look. In the bottom left of your screen, hitting on the number 9 tee. Chance Watson of Appalachian State, watching his tee ball go down the fairway at number 9, is on the 18th. This is Peter Stalbo with a long birdie putt. Below him, Tristan Elston with a birdie putt, and Elston rolls it in from the front of the green. About a 35 footer for Tristan Elston of Louisiana for a birdie here at the 9th. And on the 18th, Peter Stalbo looking to finish off for his par here, about 3 feet for par for South Alabama. At the bottom of your screen at the 9th, this is Walter Brinker. This is his birdie putt. He was there with his second shot, but that's going to slide by, and he'll have that left for a par. And Connor Futrell of Troy will be right behind him with his par putt. Tristan Elston of Louisiana with a birdie here on his closing hole at number 9, and Futrell be trying to finish with par. Elston was able to take a look at the line of Futrell's putt. That probably helped him along the way, as back on the number 9 tee, this is Bjorn Gudmundsson of Louisiana, sophomore from Iceland, with his tee shot, as that group will head down the number 9 fairway. Back at number 9, and this is Futrell's par putt, and rolls it right in. Nice par save for the Troy Trojan, as a birdie, a par, and a bogey here at, rather, a birdie and 2 pars for this final group. This was Tristan Elston of Louisiana just a minute ago with our first on-air birdie here at the 9th. Rolling in that about 35-footer for birdie there for the number 2, or the number 4 groups from these 3 schools. Going back to live action now here at the 9th, as this group's finished up, and the next group just coming off the tee here at the 9th hole. These are the players that are finishing up here at 9. This group we're now going to finishing up at 18, as Peter Stalbo finishes off his par here, and group number 2, the number 4 players, finished up here at the 18th. And back behind the 9th green, a little bit of a gap both sides now, as some of these groups, those first couple of groups, I mean, let's be honest, they wanted to make sure they tried to finish before the rains hit. And we're of course, we're going to be optimistic that the rain stays away, but it's hard to argue with the radar look right now. So we'll hope for the best, try to play as long as we can, and then see what happens after that. But you can see, look at the flagstick, how the wind is bending that every once in a while. So the wind whipping in the trees back behind as you look back from the number 9 green. Here's your group that just went off the tee at number 9, finishing up here. 2 freshmen and a junior, Chance Watson, the junior from Appalachian State, Bjorn Gudmundsson of Louisiana, and Ike Alexander of Troy. They're on their way down the fairway here at number 9. They're finishing up hole. These players playing in the number 3 position for their squads. Working their way up to their tee balls. And back at 18, and our number 3 groups haven't made it over here, still over at the 17th hole. The group that'll be next up here on 18. Senior Jason Mendel of South Alabama, junior Daniel Overus of Coastal Carolina, and the freshman Max Catherine from ULM and from France. Overus from Vestnes, Norway, and Mendel from Norcross, Georgia, not that far from not far up from the Georgia-Florida state line, so not that far away from home, playing in the conference tournament. Just a reminder, this is the first of 3 days of stroke play. We'll play our second round tomorrow morning, starting at 7:30 a.m. Central Time. Third and final stroke play round scheduled for Tuesday morning, also starting at 7:30. And then the top 4 teams will move on to match play competition on Wednesday. Match play in the morning featuring these number 1 and 4 teams taking on each other, and the number 2 and 3 teams taking on each other. Those seedings to be determined by the stroke play. And then the winners of those two matches from Wednesday morning will match up Wednesday afternoon in the championship match for the Sun Belt Conference title and for the automatic bid to the NCAA Golf Championships. But all that's still about 3 days away. We've got a lot of golf to be played between now and then, as it's played. The players will play 54 holes and then determine the match play pairings. And the individual competition will be determined in just the first 54 holes. That will be determined on Tuesday before we start the match play on Wednesday morning. Players should be getting close to their shots out on the 9th. And you can see that the wind and conditions have pushed somebody's shot over on the right side again here at number 9. And I mean, this is almost an identical situation to what we had earlier, as we had the players from Troy and Appalachian State both having to drop out from the cart path here. That's Ike Alexander in the Cardinal shirt on the left, and Chance Watson of Appalachian State in the white shirt on the right. Looks like it'll be Watson, the first to hit, junior from Newland, North Carolina. He's played in 2 previous conference tournaments. He tied for 37th in 2016, finished 55th last year individually. 8 tournaments this year, 75.27 average. That ranks 3rd on the Mountaineer team. He had a low round of 69. That was in the Phoenix Invitational, when he also shot 215 for that tournament. His best finish this year. He finished 19th individually at the Florida Gulf Coast tournament. Watson struggling today. He was 13 over par through the first 14 holes, and his second shot here did not get a look at it. He may be well right. He was well right off the tee, so I'll have to see if we can find where Chance Watson is, and he's ready to end what has been a struggling day. He's got 3 triple bogeys on his card and 1 double bogey. A little bit further up is Ike Alexander of Troy. Ike is 7 over for the day through 14 holes. He's got a couple of doubles on his card, but got his second shot coming in here nicely. He's going to back up a little bit down the hill, and he'll have about 12 feet left for a closing birdie, and it would be his first birdie of the day, as he has struggled so far. And back out in the fairway, Bjorn Gudmundsson of Louisiana hitting his second shot in here to the 9th green. And his is going to fly a little long, but it'll back up onto the putting surface, and he'll also have a birdie putt here on the 9th. Gudmundsson is 4 over par for the day. He's got a birdie, but also has 5 bogeys. He birdied the par 4 13th hole, parred the last 5 that he played. So our number 3 players from these 3 schools headed down the fairway here at number 9. And a couple of decent birdie looks at the 9th. And while those guys head up to the number 9 green, we'll go to the 18th. And our number 3 group has finally made it here. Daniel Overus of Coastal Carolina. junior from Vestnes, Norway. .73.86 stroke average this year, playing in the number 3 spot for Coastal. Likes his tee shot here on the 18th. So Max Catherine of UL Monroe will be next, freshman from France. Max is 4 over through 15 holes. He was 5 over, but he birdied the par 4 15th right after double bogeying the 14th. Pushes his tee shot maybe a little bit out to the right, hoping that'll carry all the way over. Looks like it did. And Jason Mendel of South Alabama, finishing up his 10th round of play in Sunbelt Championships in medal play. 4-time participant in the tournament. He tied for 37th as a freshman, tied for 32nd as a sophomore, and then tied for 13th last year as a junior. Right now, Mendel 2 over par through his first 15. He's got 3 birdies and 5 bogeys on his card today. Senior from Norcross, Georgia, with his tee ball as he backs up and takes a look, and quickly we will go over to number 9, and Chance Watson must have found the water because he was apparently had to drop over there. And Watson with what would be his 4th shot, the junior from Newland, North Carolina, and this one's going to go well past. Watson playing side to side, and now he'll be hitting his 5th on the par 4 hole, and is less than happy with that one, I'm certain. And again, those 3 dreaded words in golf, you're still away. So Watson's going to have to hit his 5th before either Bjorn Gudjonsson of Louisiana or Ike Alexander of Troy will have their birdie putts. And didn't get all of that one, just pretty much got it up on the green, and now this will be for double bogey. And a struggle here on the final hole for Appalachian State's Chance Watson.
Is it a penalty if you double hit it? What kind of penalty is it? We'll do that.
And it's been pretty much a struggle all day long for Chance, so he's just about ready to get this done and get it in the house. 13 over par through his first 14 holes. And he's going to go ahead and hit his putt for 6 here. And roll that one well by. So this will be for 7 coming back. The only good thing for Chance and Appalachian State is you know that they won't count his score, as App State has very solid scores everywhere else except for his. At least that was through 14 holes. No other score worse than 4 over par. So they will definitely not count his plus 13 score, as Bjorn Gudjonsson with his long birdie putt is going to slide it by the right edge, and Gudjonsson will have just a couple of feet coming back to finish up with a par. Gudjonsson 4 over for the day. 5 bogeys, 1 birdie, and more than likely a par here to finish up. Now a birdie putt for Ike Alexander of Troy, trying to finish up strong after a day where he was also had a little bit of struggle. 7 over through the first 14, including a couple of double bogeys. And his par putt's going to stay well out to the left. And it's actually going to roll back down the hill a little bit. So he'll have an even longer par putt than Gudjonson's. And now this is Chance Watson's putt for triple bogey 7. And rolls that one in for a 7, and he's ready to have this day be over with. Now Gudjonson and Alexander both with short par putts here at the 9th. Nice ending par for Bjorn, and now Alexander will be trying to follow suit. There's maybe a little bit more here, about maybe 4 feet. Rolls that one in though. Nice finish for those 2 young men to finish up their first round of play. And we'll go to number 18, and Jason Mendel of South Alabama getting set to hit his second shot. Mendel 2 over par through the first 15. He's got 3 birdies on his card with 5 bogeys. And his second shot coming here at 18, looking for the right side of the green. He's on the putting surface, but he is a long way away with that pin in the middle of the left side. So Mendel has a long birdie putt in front of him, and Max Catherine, who just barely cleared the water with his drive, now hitting his second shot in, the freshman from France. And he's about hole high in the middle of the green, and he'll have a downhill run at it. Back out in the fairway, in the middle of the fairway, Daniel Overus of Coastal Carolina. Junior is 7 over par for the day. Had a triple and a couple of doubles during his round, during a 41 on the front. He's played 1 over on the back, played much better on the back, and this one's going to kick over close to the hole and going to be very handy, 4 or 5 feet. Over's got a nice kick left on his first hop. And so he'll have a chance at his second birdie of the day here at the 18th. So Daniel Overus with a pretty good birdie opportunity here at the closing hole. We'll take another look at that second shot. Positioned himself perfectly off the tee right in the middle of the fairway, and look at the kick he got to the left. Rolls right back behind the pin, maybe 3 or 4 feet for birdie. Back to the 18 tee, and teammate Thad Obekny of Coastal. Looks like he'll be first to strike it here at the 18th in this number 4 group of players from these schools. The guys that are number 2 players today. Obekny tied for 35th here in the championships last year. Shot 10 over 223. Right now, a lot better than that. He was 1 over through 15 holes. He's got 3 birdies on his card and working on a string of 5 straight pars. Rasmus Carlson of South Alabama. Four over through 15 today, coming off a birdie at the 15th. He's got 2 birdies on the backside. second appearance in the conference tournament. Likes that one as he cuts off some of the distance on the dog leg. He's safely dry. And Guillaume Fananel of ULM be our third player to hit in this group. Guillaume 6 over par today, including a triple bogey at the par 3 fourth hole. He's got one birdie at the 11th. Shot 74, 72, 69 last year, finishing tied for 6th here at the conference tournament. So let's see, get a birdie here at the end. This might be his highest round in 4 rounds of Sun Belt Conference Championship play. Go back to the green here at 18. And Jason Mendel of South Alabama was in the upper division. He shot 11 over at the old Waverly last week. A lot of these teams played in that tournament in Mississippi right before the conference tournament. He finished 37th out of 84 players. Long birdie putt as he found the left side of the green, and that one's going to catch the hill, roll down, nicely lagged up there. From that far away, he'll have about 3 feet left for par. Back to the 9th hole, and this is Dean Martin of Troy. Martin's 2 over through 14, the last score report we got from him. He was 1 under at the turn, but he's got 3 bogeys, or rather he was 3 over at his turn since he started at the 10th, but he's 1 under par over his last few holes on the front side, his backside. Second putt for Fananel on the, nope, not Fananel. Second putt for Max Catherine for ULM. And now Daniel Oprus will have this. Back to the 9th, tee shot of Peter Hinnant of Louisiana. Didn't like that one very much from his reaction, as this group will head down toward the 9th green. Back to 18, Daniel Overus rolls in his birdie putt here at the 18th to finish up strong. Jason Mendel will have this left for par. Mendel's par putt rolls in, so nicely played by this threesome as they finish up here at 18. The number 3 players for this group, and their number 2s are right behind them. You saw them in the background in the fairway. We'll go back to the 18th tee as we'll be awaiting our number 1s that will be headed that way very shortly for Coastal Carolina, South Alabama, and ULM. That's the group that's on the fairway right now. Thad Obekny of Coastal Carolina, Rasmus Carlson of South Alabama, and Guillaume Fananel of ULM. go out to the fairway and see what's going on with that group, as this is Thad O'Beckney of Coastal with his second shot in here at 18, and it's going to drift over to the right a little bit, be up at the very front part of the green. He'll have a birdie putt, but it'll be a long one. Some big drives out of this group. You'll see where those guys are hitting their second shots from. This is Fananel of ULM. Fananel, 6 over par through his 15 today. He's got a birdie. He's also got a triple bogey, as his shot's going to bounce in, try to check, and he'll have a little downhill slider for a closing birdie here at the 18th. And in perfect position out in the middle of the fairway is Rasmus Carlson of South Alabama. Four over par through 15. Got a couple birdies on the backside, and he'll have a chance for another one here as he's rolling this one up close. But now look at that thing taking off and rolling. The wind and the slope pushing it about 8 to 10 feet past. That looked like a perfect shot, and then rolled past. Still not bad. He'll still have that uphill putt to come back for a birdie. Carlson birdied the 10th and the 15th. We'll go back to the 9th hole, and this is Peter Hennett. He didn't like his shot off the tee, and now you see why he didn't like it, as he's just about, it looks like he's going to have to just punch it out of there. You see the red stakes mark the hazard lines. Now you do have the option of hitting, and that's what it looks like what Hennett is going to do. You have the option of hitting out when you're in the hazard, or you can take a drop. Looks like he's going to try to punch it out, but I don't know if he's looking at the line that the ball entered at, so I don't know what his decision will be. Is he waiting for somebody else farther up that might also be in trouble? I don't think so. Or he's looking out in the fairway. Maybe the others are going to hit first before he does. Yeah, I think that they're in the way of where he's aiming, so they're going to go ahead and hit, as Alex Burris of Appalachian State's in the middle of the fairway, and that's kind of where Hennett's going to have to sort of punch out. So Burris hitting his second shot in here from Appalachian State, and missing the green to the left, and he's probably not happy about that one for his second shot. And probably also Dean Martin of Troy may be hitting, or it may be Hennett trying to hit out of there. Yeah, he's just kind of punching it out and didn't get much on it. He was only able to sort of gouge it out, and he is still right there in 2, and he'll be hitting his third shot. So tough finish here for Peter Hennett of Louisiana. As quickly we'll go back to the number 18 green. And this is Guillaume Fananel of ULM, with a birdie putt here at the 18th, and watch how this one will break left to right. Watch the break on this one, and he might have played too much break. Then again, maybe not. Look at this one, going to drop, and how did that not go in? Fananel with a great putt. You saw how far he had to play that out to the left, and played it just perfectly, just couldn't get it to drop, and a nice par anyway to finish up, but he thought he had a great birdie here at 18. As quickly we go back to the 9th. Dean Martin of Troy from the middle of the fairway, hitting his second shot.
No, I don't see.
It's going to go a little long, back up a little bit. He'll be in pretty good shape to try to up and down from there. And now back out to Peter Hennett, who is hitting his third. He just sort of gouged it to there. He had to, obviously in some trouble there, and just was trying to advance it out as far as he could, and that was as far as he was able to advance it. So he's hitting his third now, and look at the wind blowing behind him now. Trees and the wind in those trees, and that's playing havoc with some shots here down the stretch. are some drops of rain that you can see every once in a while as Hennett with his third shot into this par 4 ninth green, and it's going to be long, but he'll stop it, and a nice shot from back there as we'll go back to 18. Finishing up is Rasmus Carlson of South Alabama, and Thad O'Beckney of Coastal will be trying to finish up with par here. O'Beckney 1 over par through his first 15 holes. 3 birdies and 4 bogeys, and he finishes off with a par here at the 18th. Go back to the number 9 tee, and this is the number 1 players, Luis Ruiz of Coastal Carolina. As you can see the rain behind you in the water, the drops starting to fall. And these players pretty much just hoping just to finish off now so they don't have to come back and finish this second round at some other instance. And Ruiz looking at his tee shot all the way down. Now Joe Garral of UL Monroe, sophomore from Lisbon, Portugal, former member of the Portuguese national team. And Corral with his tee shot, watching it all the way down. Again, players trying to cut off as much of this dog leg as they possibly can. Yannick Schutz of South Alabama had already hit his tee shot, so players are headed down and they're in a hurry. As you see Joe looking at getting a good look at our camera as we'll go back out to the 9th fairway, and this is Alex Burris with his 3rd shot from Appalachian State, rolling this up very handy. Nice recovery after what I'm sure was a disappointing second shot for him when he left it short and left. And you see that black dot in the middle of your screen, that would be us. That would be the golf course here at the Raven. And you see the radar starting to push in, and it's not a thin line, and there's even more back behind that. So trying to finish up as much as we possibly can and hope that the rain just doesn't get too far. It looks like that the worst of the weather might be drifting a little north of us, so we might get a break as far as weather-wise. But we're probably in for a shower before it's all over with. In fact, we're in for a shower right now as it's starting to come down. As you can see here, the rain's starting to pick up a little bit. Wind still whipping around. The wind report we got was as much as 25 miles an hour just a little while ago. So Dean Martin of Troy. Players are playing lift, clean, and place. That's why you saw the mark there. They can lift and clean anywhere in the closely mown areas, meaning the fairways or around the greens. This will be Martin's birdie putt as he is there in 2, is a little bit long with his approach shot. Burris and Hennett will both be trying to save par, but Martin here putting for a birdie. Slide by the left and going to keep going toward the water a little bit. He'll have about 3 or 4 feet coming back for par. Martin, as we said, 2 over through 14 holes today. Haven't gotten an update there, but reminder, you can get all the updated scores on golfstat.com and through the Sunbelt website. Later on, you can get the live scoring and you'll get the official scoring about 20-25 minutes after the conclusion of play. Peter Hennett will probably be first to hit here as he's farther toward the back of the green. He was in trouble off the tee, had to sort of gouge it out, but then hit his third shot to here, and this is his putt for par, but it's going to stay out to the right, and he will tap in for a closing bogey here at the 9th hole. The freshman from Winston-Salem finishing off play. Playing in the number 2 position. As you can see, the raindrops just enough to be irritable as Dean Martin will try to roll in a par putt and finish things off. Back to the 18th fairway, Luis Ruiz of Coastal Carolina. His tee shot to there. And he cuts off some of the dogleg right here at the 18th. Junior from Atizapan, Mexico. Has to bring it over the little clump of trees that's at the right side of the green, and he'll find the front, and he'll have a birdie putt to finish things off here as we go back to the tee at number 9. And Caleb Masters of Troy was one of our early leaders. Now has slipped back. He is 2 over par through 12. He birdied 2 of the first 3 holes he played today, but since then 4 bogeys. And in the fairway at number 18, also carrying part of the water, Yannick Schutz of South Alabama with his second shot, and his second shot goes, did he go long, or might have gotten it up in the wind, and we'll have to see where his ball went. Schutz is 1 over par. He's got 3 birdies and an eagle on his card today, but he's also got 4 bogeys and a double bogey. So it's been very much a roller coaster ride for the sophomore from Friolsheim, Germany. Third member of this group, Joe Garral of ULM, will stop that one right on the back edge. Quickly we'll go over to number 9 and the tee shot for Cole Kendrick of Louisiana. They're finishing up here at the 9th hole. Also in the group, Trip Summerlin of Appalachian State's also hit his tee ball. If we don't get any harder rain than this, we'll be able to finish play today. As long as that lightning and bad weather stays away. The light rain you can continue to play in. If you get lightning or so forth, obviously it becomes a safety hazard, and the safety and protection of the players is the most important thing out on a golf course. So if there is any of that in the immediate area, of course they will clear the course in a hurry, and then they'll worry about the rest of it later on when conditions are more favorable. But right now, rain's actually almost slacking off a little bit. So hopefully we'll get lucky. We can get in about another hour or so and finish things off. As we're back on 18, and Schutz's ball, he obviously went long, went here into the water, and now they're just trying to figure out the location wherever it went in, and that's where he'll have to drop his penalty shot from. During the women's tournament, we did have one player who had to play it off the boards from that spectator bridge because it went in the water right in front, and you couldn't back up anywhere without going all the way across the water on the other side. So she chose to play it right off the bridge. See our last grouping of Troy, Louisiana, and Appalachian States already off the 9 green and headed down, or off the 9 tee, headed down toward the 9 green. You see them on the bottom of your screen, just out of sight of both of them, but they'll be coming up to the 9th green here very soon. And Yannick Schutz of South Alabama is over to measure out the 2 club length drop out of the hazard. And he'll now take the drop, and of course it will probably roll back toward the hazard, and he'll do it one more time and it'll bounce toward the hazard, and now they will let him place at the spot where it did hit the ground. So, and Schutz will be hitting now his 4th shot, as he was hit into the water, the hazard here at the left of the 18th green. Schutz came out. He was 3 under through 3 holes earlier today. As we'll go quickly back over to the 9th. And this is Caleb Masters of Troy. Looks like he's close to the tree line, but actually he's got an open shot coming in from there. And before he hits, looks like we're going to go back over to the 18th, and this is Yannick Schutz's 4th shot after he dropped and took the penalty stroke. Pin is right in the middle of the green here, so he's actually got some green to work with. And that one's got to stop, or it's going to roll back down, and pretty good job of stopping that from the lie that he had. So he'll have that left for bogey here to finish up. Caleb Masters of Troy in the fairway here on the 9th and his closing hole. Masters 2 over for the day. He was 2 under at one point after his first 3 holes, and you can see the rain starting to pick up just a little bit more now as the wind starts to blow it. Over to the 18th. This is Joe Giral of ULM putting from way at the back of the green. This is for a long birdie putt. Pretty good pace on that one. Rolls it just past the pin, and he'll have just that little tap in for par as we go back to 9. And Caleb Masters of Troy with his 2nd shot. Oh, push this one off to the right. And I don't know if he didn't catch all of it. I don't know. He looks like he's well short. Luis Ruiz of Coastal Carolina with a birdie putt here at 18. Hit his 2nd shot to the front of the putting surface. We'll wrap up play for Coastal Carolina for the day, as will Giral for ULM and Schutz for South Alabama. That'll wrap up their team play, and they'll head in to avoid any other weather problems, which looks like it's sort of clearing up a little bit. There's just enough rain dropping to be aggravating, but not nearly enough to affect play that much. As Ruiz's long birdie putt, rolling down the hill, turning, and dropping in. Luis Ruiz with a nice birdie here at the 18th. That's a big stroke for Coastal Carolina and a big one for him, as he was 3 over par through 15 holes. He gets his 2nd birdie of the day. And now Yannick Schutz, who was over the green and in the water, he'll have this left for bogey. Had to take the drop with the penalty. Hit his fourth shot, the chip shot, rolled past it. And now we'll have to try to save 5 coming back down the hill, and can't believe that the putt didn't break right. So he's going to take a double here at the final hole. And Schutz with the double bogey here at the 18th, and now Joe Giroux of ULM will finish up his par. A nice 2-putt from the back edge. And our last groups from these 3 schools have finished up, and they can now scramble for cover. And our last group involving Troy, Louisiana, and Appalachian State making their way up to the 9th green. And we'll go to the 9th and take a look at Trip Summerlin of Appalachian State. Leads the Mountaineers this year, 73.64 stroke average. He has a great round going. He is 4 under for the day. No bogeys and 4 birdies. He birdied the 11th, the 13th, the 1st, and the 4th. And does not have a bogey on his car, and that's through 14 holes. And if I remember right, he parred at the 6th. So he's at least 4 under through 15 and playing here at number 9. So very solid round for Summerlin, the sophomore from Summerfield, North Carolina. He already has an individual win this year, so he's used to success. He won the Patriot Invitational back in the fall. Might have been in trouble off the tee, so that might have been his 3rd shot coming in. We'll go back out to the 9th hole. At least we think it's the 9th. Caleb Masters is trying to turn it into another hole as he has apparently pushed his tee shot well left and is having to play back through the trees to get back to the 9th. We're going to go out and give you some bonus coverage of the 17th hole. The long par 5, and this is a 3rd shot. Might have been from Matthew Cole of Arkansas State. We'll have to check and see on that group coming up 17. But right now let's go back to the 9th and Caleb Masters and see the difficulty he's playing with here. Back to the 17th. And that's Nathan Williams of Georgia State, who's up there putting for birdie after his 3rd shot lands there in the middle of the green. Now here's Masters trying to find a way through all the trees, bounces it off the cart path, and look at this shot. This is a great shot from there. He had hit his 2nd way over to the right. Missed all the trees, bounced it on the cart path, and now he has 6 foot left for what would be the best scrambling par we've had all day. Also, a little bit long and right is Cole Kendrick of Louisiana. And he's going to get a couple of shots from there as he's in the mud and can lift and clean that one. He's also gets the he's going to back it out from the what is, I'm sure, is ground under repair. So he's taking the club length back, and he will drop back there. So Kendrick will be hitting his third shot when we return to the ninth. Back on the number 9 tee, our first look at this group of schools, including UT Arlington. This is Jake Greenspoon of UTA, playing along with Logan Pate of Little Rock and Inigo Benarin of Texas State. And Greenspoon hitting his tee shot here on the 9th. And next up is going to be Logan Pate of Little Rock on the 9th tee. That's him on your lower left of your screen. On the 17th green, fourth shot of Lucas Alaculpi of Georgia Southern. Actually, might be his third shot here on the par 5. Nope, that's his fourth, and rolling it up just past the pin. He'll have that left for par. As Pate with his tee shot for Little Rock on the 9th, bottom left of your screen. And now top left of your screen, this is Nathan Williams of Georgia State. Nope, check that. This is Matthew Cole of Arkansas State. Cole hitting his fourth shot and trying to get his balance as he's obviously right down there next to the water. And right below him, lower left of your screen, Inigo Benarin of Texas State with his tee shot on the 9th hole. Bottom right, Cole Kendrick of Louisiana. Chipped to that point, came up short of the green, so this will be his fourth shot. And looks like Matthew Cole was actually in the water, and now he's going to pick it up and having to drop it. He thought about trying to play it out of there, but now he's going to step back and drop back in the hazard, so he'll take the penalty shot, and he'll be hitting his fifth here on the par 5. I think he thought about trying to play it out of the water. He's going to take the drop, and now he will be able to place it and hit his fifth shot. He had tried to take a stance like he was going to play it. He even took the shoe off, so now he'll have to put the sock and the shoe back on. Going back to the 9th hole, and we'll replay the shot of Caleb Masters. You see his shot through the trees, off the cart path, through the pine straw, through the fringe, rolling it on the green, and he has only about 6 feet away for a closing par here at the 9th, and probably be hitting that par putt here in just a couple of minutes. But right now we're going to go to Matthew Cole of Arkansas State. Found the water on the edge here at the 17th. Going to chip it up and on, and it's going to roll a little bit past, and he'll have that left for bogey here on the par 5. Back over to 9, and that is Caleb Masters, who just hit that scrambling shot to get to that point, looking at his putt. But I think it'll be Cole Kendrick of Louisiana will be the first one to hit, and this will be his bogey putt, as he came up short of getting up back on the green on his approach after going long with his second shot. So Kendrick trying to save bogey here. Kendrick is 6 over par for the day. He's got 3 double bogeys along with a birdie, but rolls in a bogey here and saves a bogey here with a nice long putt. On the 17th, Nathan Williams, short par putt. And now Matthew Cole, and this is for bogey after he was in the water on the left side. Sophomore from Fayetteville, Arkansas. 73.36 stroke average coming into the tournament. And his bogey putt slides past the right lip. He'll have about a foot left. Caleb Masters with a closing par as a scrambling par out of the trees behind the green here at 9. So a nice finish for him. And now Tripp Summerlin will have this to finish off with a par. And you see the grins by the Troy group there as they know that was a scrambling par here on the final hole. Summerlin getting set for his putt. We'll quickly back over to the 17th. Alacolpi with a par putt. Also the par putt on number 9 for Tripp Summerlin. And our groups representing Troy, Louisiana, and Appalachian State are done for the day. Our next groups are out in the fairway at number 9. They've already hit their tee shots. That's group number 16, Jake Greenspoon of UT Arlington, Logan Pate of Little Rock, and Inigo Benarin of Texas State. And that's the group that's out in the fairway. Senior and a couple of sophomores. Greenspoon making his 3rd appearance in the conference tournament. Benarin played in the tournament last year. Pate in his 1st Sun Belt appearance. Back at the 17th hole. The long par 5. Josh Edgar of Georgia State with his 3rd shot up on the green. Couple balls on the green here with birdie putts on the par 5 17th. Little bonus coverage of the 17th hole. And here's a 3rd shot up there. So we're going to have 3 birdie putts from the group that includes Jacob Barres of Arkansas State, Jacob Beyer of Georgia Southern, and Josh Edgar of Georgia State. And we'll go back and look down the fairway at the 9th hole. Rain starting to pick up a little more heavily right now. This is the number 5 players from UTA, Little Rock, and Texas State. This is Logan Pate of Little Rock, who's in the middle of the fairway with the cleaning up around it, and he'll take a look with the rain figuring to affect his shot as it's starting to come down even a little bit more heavier now. "12 teams taking part in the tournament. 6 have already finished play for the day. They're safely in the clubhouse and pretty much safely dry, as the other 6 still have all their players out on the golf course. Logan Pate of Little Rock, the sophomore from Richmond, Texas. Been a little bit of a struggle for him today. He's 8 over par through 14 holes. He birdied 2 of the first 5 he played, but had 6 bogeys in a row sandwiched around the turn. And his second shot comes up short and right, and he'll be trying to up and down for par here at the 9th. We'll go back to 17. And I think these are all 3 for birdie. That's Jacob Barres of Arkansas State in the gray shirt. And the gray shirt in the middle. Jacob Bauer of Georgia Southern, the gray shirt on the right. And Josh Edgar of Georgia State in the blue. As this will be Bauer for his birdie here at the 17th. 17th is a 546-yard par 5, 3-shot hole, just about the way it's set up, and Byers' birdie putt slides by for Georgia Southern. Byers 6 over par through 15 holes today. He does have 3 birdies on his card, but also has 4 bogeys, a double, and a triple. Josh Edgar of Georgia State with his birdie putt, and it's going to skim by the right side and roll about 18 inches past. Edgar is 9 over for the day. You see the 17th hole, long, straight, and narrow. And they're playing it pretty much from the back today to get to 546 yards as Edgar finishes off his par. And now Jacob Barres from Arkansas State has the best run at a birdie here of the 3. Barres has also struggled today, 9 over through 15 holes, 2 birdies, 5 bogeys, a double, and a triple. We'll go to the 9th hole. This is Inigo Benarin of Texas State with his second shot after a big tee shot got him to there. Second shot will check up and it will spin off to the left. Give him a little bit longer putt than he would have wanted, but he is putting here at the 9th in his final hole. Action all over the place here at the 9th, the 17th, and the 18th as Nick Thornton of UT Arlington in your bottom left, hitting his tee shot on the 9th. Second group from those 3 schools and the number 4 players. And you've got now dueling Arkansas State players at the top of your screen. On the 17th on the left, that's Zanluca Stern. And I think that's Matthew Cole on the 18th fairway. I don't think they finished up play with that first group. Back to the 9th, Nick Thornton on your bottom right, just off the green. Top right of your screen, Matthew Cole for Arkansas State with his second shot into the 18th. It's going to hit and hit hard, but it'll check up and trickle back onto the putting surface, or flirted with the water, but able to hold on. He'll have a long one for a birdie. As on 17, Zanluca Stern of Arkansas State's found the bunker with his second shot. Middle of the 18th fairway, Jacob Bauer. Finds the front of the green. ninth tee and the bottom left, Alvaro Carroll Estrams. His tee shot's out to the right as he's signaling, and he'll have to go down and search that one out. As on the ninth green, I think I got ahead. I think that might have been, yes, that's Jake Greenspoon's third shot for UTA. And the bottom right of your screen. Back up to the 17th green, or rather the 18th green, is our first groupings from Arkansas State, Georgia State, and Georgia Southern, working their way back down 18. Walking their way up the 18th fairway, Matthew Cole of Arkansas State. Georgia Southern's Lucas Alacolpi, and Georgia State's Nathan Williams.
Yes, that is correct. Just so you know, when it takes me a second to answer you, it's because my phone is in my bag, so it takes me a second to get here to answer you. No,
this is the first of 3 days of medal play. Teams will come back out and do it all over again tomorrow morning, starting at 7:30 a.m. Central Time with round 2. Same thing on Tuesday, when we will determine the individual champion, and then we will have the top 4 teams moving into match play on Wednesday. 2 semifinal rounds Wednesday morning, and the championship finals on Wednesday afternoon. This is Matthew Cole, a redshirt sophomore from Fayetteville, home state product, second on the team right now. 73.36 stroke average. 7 over par, though, for today. He's got 3 double bogeys on his card. Also got 3 birdies and 4 bogeys. So very much a up and down round for the sophomore. Instead of Cole, looks like it'll be Nathan Williams of Georgia State who will be first to hit. Just off the back edge of the green with his second. This middle location, and the slope's gonna take that one to the right, and he'll have about 3 feet left for par as we go to the 17th. Out of the bunker, Lucas Stern. I think this is the group number 3. Is there a group on the 18T also? Might be in between them. We're trying to give a little bonus coverage here from the 17th. And from off the back edge, that might have been Jacob Beyer of Georgia Southern. On the 18th, Matthew Cole of Arkansas State with his putt that's going to come up short for birdie, and he'll have about 3 or 4 feet left for his par. Now we'll go back to the front, and Lucas Alacolpi of Georgia Southern. Lucas is 5 over for the day. He's got a birdie on his card, but also got a double and 4 bogeys. But a nice run here is going to trickle just past the right lip, and it'll be a tap-in par for the sophomore from Valdosta. Now Matthew Cole will be trying to finish out for a par as we'll go over to 17. And I think this is Jacob Barres of Arkansas State. Rolling a birdie putt past. He'll have about 3 feet coming back. Back on the 18th, Matthew Cole of Arkansas State trying to finish up for par. And gets that one to go. And the third member of this group, Nathan Williams, also will be trying to finish up par. Back to 17. Josh Edgar of Georgia State rolling in a nice birdie putt here at the par 5 17th hole. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm a group behind there. That was Severin Soller of Georgia State, as there's another group in between these two in the fairway at 18. And that's Jake Story and now it'll be Zan Lucas Stern of Arkansas State finishing off here at the 17th. To the 9th, and this is Daniel Durasic of Little Rock hitting his second shot from the number 9 fairway. Number 4 group from these schools. And his second has gone off to the left, and we'll hope he didn't trickle down into the water on that side. In the fairway at 18. Looks like Jacob Beyer of Georgia Southern is in the middle, the freshman, playing along with Jacob Barres of Arkansas State and Josh Edgar of Georgia State. One of these players had to go back and re-tee here at 18, so that's why we had a little bit of a delay. Middle of the fairway, this is Jacob Beyer of Georgia Southern. Hitting his second shot up, flirting with the left side, now rolling to the back edge, but it'll stay right there next to the putting surface. And you can see the wind has not abated whatsoever, still whipping its way down this 18th fairway. So I think that Barres and Beyer are safely up, and now coming back into play is Josh Edgar. You see him working his way up the fairway. He had to go back and hit a second tee shot, so he's working his way back to his shot again. You see it there on the right side, and he will be hitting his 4th from there. Edgar just trying to finish up what's been a struggling round. He is 9 over par through 15 holes. He had a quadruple bogey 9 at the par 5 11th, and also got a couple of double bogeys on his card. He also got 2 birdies. So Edgar will be hitting his 4th shot after having to hit another tee ball. Don't know if he was out of bounds or if he found the water. But this is his 4th coming into the 18th green. And he's going to be off to the right. Going to bounce over to the right side, and he'll have up and down for double bogey here at the 18th. So disappointing finish for Josh Edgar of Georgia State. And now Jacob Barres of Arkansas State on your left, and Jacob Byer of Georgia Southern on your right will both have birdie shots. Over to the 9th. And this is Alvaro Carroll Estrems. Looking at his 2nd shot here at the 9th. Rain has pretty much died away once again, as you see our number 4 players for UTA, Little Rock, and Texas State. Nick Thornton of UTA, Daniel Dursick of Little Rock, and Alvaro Carroll Estrems of Texas State. While we're sizing that one up back to the 18th. This will be the 5th shot for Josh Edgar of Georgia State after he had to re-tee when his original tee ball either caught the water or was out of bounds. Putting through the fringe. This came out pretty hot. It's going to slow down, though, as the greens are starting to get wet, and that's a nice lag putt for Josh Edgar. So at least he will walk away from here with no worse than double bogey. So we go back to the 9th, and having to drop out of the hazard area is Alvaro Carroll Estrems. He found the water on the side of the 9th fairway. Quickly back to the 18th. And I believe that was Jacob Barres of Arkansas State, who ran his birdie putt well past the hole, and he'll have a tough comeback for par. And Jacob Byer of Georgia Southern will now be putting. This birdie putt, it's just off the fringe, but not that much off, and he's actually got a good run at it from here. It's still going to break pretty well left to right. Playing the break and not quite putting enough on it. Jacob Byer will tap that in for an easy par as back to the 9th. And Alvaro Carroll Estrems with his 4th shot with the penalty stroke, and he's also on the left side. He might have found the water again here. Looks pretty disgusted with himself, and he might have also hit in the water for the 2nd time here at the 9th hole. And he has found the water for the 2nd time as Jacob Barres of Arkansas State finishing up with his par. And now Josh Edgar with this left for a double bogey after having to hit a second tee ball here at the 18th. And Jacob Beyer also wrapping things up with a tap-in par. Beyer 6 over par for the day. He's got 3 birdies on his card today, but he's also got a double and a quad. And now the odyssey here at the 9th hole continues for Alvaro Carlos-Strims as he hit his second in the water and is having to play another shot from here. While he's doing that, the players wait on the tee. Aaron Guanlau of UT Arlington in the blue shirt waiting to hit as soon as Estrims finishes up play down next to the water. And this is Estrims of Texas State hitting his 5th, and this one's going to fly long to the 18th, and in the middle of the fairway, this is Saravan Soller of Georgia State with his second shot in here. And he's a little long, but he'll be putting here on the 18th, putting back down the hill, and that'll be one of those big left to right breakers for Soller. Zanluka Stern, the sophomore from Slovenia, also in the middle of the fairway. Lucas Stern 4 over for the day. He got a couple of birdies after he started out with a double bogey at the first hole. And his second shot will check up right back on the back edge, trickle back on the putting surface. He'll have that for birdie to close things out. Back at the 9th hole, Daniel Durasic found the water on the left side up near the green, so he'll have to drop there and hit. That'll be his 5th shot as we're switching quickly to 18. Jake Story of Georgia Southern in the middle of the fairway. And his second shot nicely played up. Big drive by Story, and now he'll have just 3 or 4 feet left for a closing birdie. So nice shot for the senior from Alnwick, England.
Yeah. Well, it was going to release too, and kind of you get even closer.
Story is even par for the day. He's already got 4 birdies, looking for a 5th one here at the 18th. As we'll go back to the tee at number 9, and they've cleared the way for this group as Aaron Ramos of Little Rock getting set for his tee shot here at the final hole. groups heading down the final fairway. And down to the 9 green. This will be Alvaro Carroll Estrems, who rolls that putt in after having to hit the 2 shots out of the water. So he does manage to save double bogey here at the 9th hole. So nice save with that long putt for Estrems. We'll go to the 18th. Severin Soller of Georgia State. With a long birdie putt from the back. Now watch again how much this is going to break from left to right. Starting it way out to the right, just a speed putt. Not enough there. It's going to break too quickly. And he'll be left with an uphill 3-footer for his par. This is Jake Story again on replay. His second shot coming in here to 18. Gets the bounce, gets the stop, gets some action on the ball, and he'll have one of the few birdies that the 18th hole has given up. He can roll that one in. Before that, though, Zanluca Stern from back in the back corner. Again, a big left to right breaker, and that one just didn't break enough as it's going to stay up on the left side, and Lucas Stern will likely tap that one in for his final par. Now Story for what would be his 5th birdie of the day, and unofficially would leave him at 1 under par for the day. Story tied for the individual championship last year and lost it in a 4-way playoff. In fact, it was his teammate, Stephen Fisk, who won that playoff. So a nice birdie to finish things up for Story. And now Severin Soller of Georgia State trying to save par here. He's able to do so as the number 3 players, finishing things up here at the 18th. 2 groups left from Arkansas State, Georgia Southern, and Georgia State still out on the course on 17 and 18. As we go back quickly to number 9, finishing up play in this group, Nick Thornton of UT Arlington, Daniel Durasic of Little Rock, and Alvaro Carroll Estrems of Texas State. So 3 groups left on the backside as the number 3 players are in the fairway. Beautiful area next to the 18th green here at the Raven Golf Club. Playing at 6,800 yards, par 71, as we're going to go back and give you a little more bonus action from the 17th hole. And this is our, I believe, our next to last group of the day on number 18. And this is Stephen Fisk. Nope, that's Joel Wyndon of Arkansas State, hitting his third shot in on this long 17th, 546 yards, and hanging up on the lip on the left, and we'll have to see. Hopefully it didn't roll down in the water. But Wyndon with his third shot up. Over to the number 9 tee box. And Logan Lockwood of Texas State, sophomore from Van, Texas, will be waiting to hit. As soon as the group in front of him heads on down to the number 9 green, back over to 17. The long par 5 has got players heading up that way, and coming into the number 9 green, this will be Calvin Ross of Texas State, sophomore from New Brunswick, Canada, and he is well to the right, rolling back, and it's going to stop in front of the cart path. So he'll have a tricky up and down there for par here at the 9th to finish things up. So look back at the 17th. Stephen Fisk just picked up and marked his ball. Our next to last group now on the green at number 17, Joel Wyndon of Arkansas State, Stephen Fisk of Georgia Southern, and Max Herman of Georgia State. That's Stephen Fisk. Talked about it earlier, but it deserves to be talked about again. Had a 60 earlier this year in the second round of the Warrior Princeville Mackay tournament in Kauai, Hawaii. I was able to watch part of that round and watched him almost shoot 59. He had a birdie putt on the final hole that would have given him a 59. As back to the tee at number 9. That's Logan Lockwood of Texas State hitting his tee shot. The sophomore from Van, Texas. As freshman Paul Gonzalez of UTA and from Waxahachie, Texas, hitting here on the 9th hole. Three holes worth of action for you, as lower left we'll start with, as that's Aaron Ramos hitting his second shot into the 9th green. And he's safely on, and he'll have a medium length birdie putt here at the 9th. Right next to him, lower left, Paul Gonzalez of UT Arlington with his tee shot. Up on the 17th green, top left, that's Max Herman. No, that was Joel Wyndon, actually, of Arkansas State, chipping up. He did not go down in the water, so he'll have that little bit left for par. Right below him, Paul Gonzalez of UTA hitting his tee shot on the 9th. And back over to the 9th green, actually just off the 9th green, where Calvin Ross of Texas State trying to measure one off as after he went well long with his second shot. Top left on 17, that's Stephen Fisk. 1 under for the day. 3 birdies, 2 bogeys. Very solid round for Fisk, the junior from Stockbridge, Georgia. Ninth tee shot for Tiago Lobo of Little Rock. Looked like he hit it left, was motioning that way. The freshman from Marcelo, Brazil. Stephen Fisk, top left of your screen on the 17th green. This is for birdie. This birdie putt. A little little bit of a misread there as it stays well out to the left and well short. He'll have about 3 feet left for par here at the 17th. Max Herman of Georgia State in the all black just walked by. Back in the 9th, this is Calvin Ross, Texas State. Calvin's 2 over par. Back to 17, Max Herman rolling in a birdie putt. And that's one that he really needed. Herman was 10 over par through 15 holes. It has a double, a triple, and 6 bogeys on his card. Back to the 9th. And unable to get it back to the putting surface is Calvin Ross, so he'll have that distance left for a 4 here at the par 4 9th. Across the green, Aaron Guanlao of UTA with his 3rd shot. Rolling it up. Nice pace on that one. Almost rolled it in. He'll have a kick-in par here for his final hole. On the 17th, Stephen Fisk cleans up for par. And now Joel Wyndon will try to do the same thing from off the green on the left side. And Herman already has the birdie here at 17, so this group will head over to the 18th tee. And hitting it past is Joel Wyndon, just unable to cash in on that shot. And Wyndon continues to struggle. He's 11 over par through his first 15 holes today. And he's going to drop even more now. He's got a quintuple bogey 9 on the par 4 13th, really derailed his round. He's got another triple, had a 7 on the par 4 5th. So a couple of big holes for Wyndon really hurt him. Calvin Ross with his 4th shot on the 9th hole. Came up just short with his chip shot and trying to putt one in from the fringe to save par. Keep Texas State right now in the team lead. Right now the Bobcats 4 over par as a team, and they have a 3-shot lead over UT Arlington. Now, that was before Carol Estrems recorded that big number on the last hole that we watched right here just a few minutes ago. So that lead's probably tightened up some now, as Ross's putt's going to slide by, and he's going to take a bogey here. He's got 2 pars and now 5 bogeys, rather 2 birdies and now 5 bogeys for the day. The group that's coming up the fairway on 17, Tanner Napier of Arkansas State, Archer Price of Georgia Southern, and Nick Budd of Georgia State, the number 1 players for these 3 schools, as they're working their way up the fairway at 17th. There's are giving you a little bonus coverage on 17, and this is Archer Price with his 3rd shot here at the 17th. Long par 5, and he has found the green, pulls it back, and he'll have that run at a birdie. On the 9th hole, Aaron Ramos. Now Calvin Ross would be trying to save bogey after Ramos took a par. Go back to the 17th. This is Tanner Napier of Arkansas State. With his 3rd shot. Goes right over the flag stick, and it'll stick up there, and he'll have that left for birdie here at the par 5. Napier 1 under par for the day. 4 birdies, 3 bogeys. A solid round. Going for his 3rd straight finish in the top 6 here. He tied for 4th 2 years ago, tied for 6th here last year. A little extra coverage here from the behind the 17th green as our next to last, this is actually our last group on 17. We have a group on 18 from these 3 schools, and 2 more groups right now on the 8th and 9th, as it looks like the rain, cross your fingers, may be subsided enough where we might actually finish play today, and not a lot of people would have thought that when the day began. On the 17th, that's again in our final group of the day. That's Nick Budd of Georgia State, just off the putting surface. Top 10 last year here in the conference championship, tied for 10th. Shot 71, 72, 73, 216, 3 over par for the junior from Woodstock, Georgia. His long birdie putt. He's going to have to slow down a little bit. Runs by about 5 feet. So Bud will have that coming back for par. Bud even par for the day. 3 birdies, 3 bogeys. Also a solid round. Back on the 9th hole in the fairway, that's Tiago Lobo of Little Rock. And his second shot's going to bounce back into the piney woods back here with the pine straw and so forth, as we're going back to 17th green, the par 5, and this is Tanner Napier of Arkansas State with a birdie putt here at the 17th. Big breaking putt. It's going to break a little too much, sliding by the left side. Napier will have a tap-in par here at the 17th. It'll be Archer Price's turn. Price in the blue shorts, white hat. Price is 7 over today through 15 holes. He has 8 pars and 7 bogeys. So he'd love to put a birdie on the card here at 17. And still doesn't have that first birdie for the day as this putt slides by. Tough day for Archer Price. You can tell by the facial expression as Nick Budd try to close out a par here on 17, as we'll go again all over the golf course. Top right of your screen, that's Joel Wyndon in the middle of the fairway from Arkansas State, getting set to hit his second shot. Top left, Nick Budd rolls in the par putt at 17. And bottom right, that's Paul Gonzalez getting set to hit his second shot from the middle of the fairway at the par 4 ninth. And one more group to come to the number 9 tee. They should be there very shortly. Joel Wyndon on the fairway at 18. Hitting his second shot in here to the par 4. And he'll back it up just a little bit, and he'll have that shot left. He'll have that putt left for a closing birdie for the junior from Gävle, Sweden. Far side of the fairway, Max Herman of Georgia State won the individual championship back in 2016, making his 4th appearance in the conference tournament. This one comes up short, but he'll have a long birdie putt in front of him here at the 18th. Herman, 74.17 stroke average this year with 9 subpar rounds. He's got a couple of top 10s. And speaking of top 10, Stephen Fisk of Georgia Southern, our defending individual champion. So we have our 2 champions of the last 2 years in the same group here on the 18th fairway. Fisk shot 66, 70, 74, 210 last year. 4-way tie at 210, and Fisk won the playoff. Second shot hits hard, rolls back to the back edge, but it will stay there. And Fisk will have a left to right breaker for his birdie, as we got 3 on the green here at 18. Paul Gonzalez this is at number 9. Look at this shot coming in as it's going to roll just away, hit right next to the pin, but now heads down the hill over toward the water. It's going to hold the putting surface, but Paul Gonzalez almost had a spectacular shot. We'll go to the 18 tee, and this is Tanner Napier of Arkansas State. Again, players trying to cut off some yardage here on the dog leg, especially the guys that can really hit it, pulling out the drivers and seeing how much they can cut off, but you don't want to take it too much. Paul Gonzalez, UTA, playing in the number 2 position there. Just caught a quick glimpse of him. As we go back to the 18 tee, and this is Nick Budd of Georgia State. Didn't leave anything in the bag on that one with the driver, trying to cut off some distance. Looks like he was able to do that. And watching it close as we'll go back to number 9, our next to last group on the number 9 green. And this is, this is number 18. And this is our next to last group on 18. That was Joel Wyndon of Arkansas State. His birdie putt that broke off to the right. And Max Herman of Georgia State there in the black, looking over his long birdie putt. Go back to the number 9 tee and our final group of the day on number 9. Tanner Gore of UTA, just about to hit his tee shot, playing in a group with Justin Warren of Little Rock and Logan Davis of Texas State, 3 juniors in this final group. On the 18th green, Max Herman. The long birdie putt. Really needs this to end a frustrating day, as this one's going to go up and just slide by the left side. So Herman will tap that in for his finale par. Back on the 9 tee, Tanner Gore of UTA, the junior from El Paso. Has his tee shot going on the left side, and don't know if he found trouble over there or not. We'll have to wait and see where his ball wound up. This will be Logan Davis of Texas State as the rain starts to fall once again. Players trying to finish their final hole here. Redshirt junior from Humble, Texas, as we'll go to the 9 green. Paul Gonzalez of UT Arlington with his long birdie putt attempt. The freshman from Waxahachie, Texas. Rolling that one up, and that was just lagged up. Nice speed, just came up a little short. Gonzalez 1 under for the day, so he's going to finish up with a par here and a card that includes 3 birdies and 2 bogeys. As we'll go back to the 18th green. Joel Winden of Arkansas State trying to finish up par here, rolls that one in. And our next to last group has finished play here at 18. Quickly over to the 9th hole, nicely done by Texas State's Logan Lockwood to finish out that grouping. And one more group to go here on both sides. And it's going to be just in time. As you can see, the rain starting to come down a little heavier as we'll go to the 18th. And this is Tanner Napier giving you another look from the side of the 18th fairway. Napier 1 under, the last scoring update we had for him through 15 holes. 4 birdies, 3 bogeys. Tied for 6th last year individually. Leads the team with a 72.86 stroke average. Best finish this year, tied for 4th at Little Rock's Invitational. And Napier's second shot into the 18th green is going to come up well short. He'll have a long birdie run from there. In fact, it's going to roll all the way back off to the fringe. Right side of the fairway, Nick Budd of Georgia State. Even par for the day. Just saw him par over at 17. 3 birdies, 3 bogeys on his card for the junior from Woodstock, Georgia. 73.1 stroke average this year. That leads the Georgia State team. And his second shot, it's going to roll long, and it's going to be into the right side bunker. And that may be the first shot all day that we've had in the bunker on the right side, with the pin playing way over on the left. This is Archer Price of Georgia Southern with his second shot into the 18th. The 5'9" senior from Gastonia, North Carolina. Price 7 over for the day with 7 bogeys on his card, and this shot's going to come up again well short, and he'll have a long run at a birdie here at the 18th. At the 9th hole, this is Logan Davis setting up for his second shot. You can see the rain continuing to fall. It's Texas State coach Shane Howell out there with Davis, his #1 player. Davis, 73.13 stroke average this year. He had a low round of 66. In the last tournament he played, the Lake Charles Invitational a couple weeks ago, he finished second individually out of 61 players. He shot 69, 66, 70. 205 score. That was 11 under par in that tournament when he finished second individually. In fact, individual winner in that tournament, Jack Tolson of Louisiana, also in the field here. See Coach Shane Howell trying to give Davis a point of reference for his second shot. So we'll go to the 18th. This is Nick Budd of Georgia State. Found the right side bunker with his second shot. Wet sand coming out of, makes it a little tougher, and this one's going to come up short and way out to the left side, and probably not the bunker shot that Nick Budd would have wanted. He'll have that left for a closing par. Our other two players in this foursome, both with long birdie putts, as you see Tanner Napier taking a look at his, and the Archer Price of Georgia Southern rolled back just off the fringe. So I'm not sure who will be first to hit. I would think it would be Archer Price. As back to #9 and still trying to figure distance on this shot is Logan Davis. And take a quick look at the weather map, and you can see it still does not look good, but we're only about 5 or 10 minutes away from being finished, so after that, let it rain. Tanner Napier from way down in front at 18, and this putt's not going to get there, and greens are so wet now that players are having some difficulty not only in the fairway but on the green, as Napier's putt comes up way short, and he has that left for par. Logan Davis still in the middle of the fairway here at #9. And the group in front of him, did he already hit his shot? I don't know. I guess he did. Archer Price with his birdie putt here at #18, and it slides by this time. He goes about 4 feet by, and that'll be for par. So all three players putting for par here at the 18th. Nick Budd, who found the trap on the right side and was only able to get to this point. This will be for his par. Big left to right break. Nice speed on that, just trickles by, and he will be left with that for a bogey. And Budd will wind up unofficially 1 over par with 3 birdies and 4 bogeys on his card for the day. And the rain picking up, and these guys probably pretty glad to finish at this point, as Tanner Napier of Arkansas State. 72.86 average led the Red Wolves this year. He had 3 straight top 5 finishes during the fall season at Memphis, Bayou City, and at the Little Rock tournament. and is coming off a tie for 8th at the Hawkeye Invitational in Arkansas State's last tournament before coming to the Sun Belt meet. And Napier's par putt. Going to run on past. Still have about 2 feet left for bogey. Napier came here 1 under par. He's probably going to walk away even for the day, 4 birdies and 4 bogeys, as the par putt for Archer Price also slides by, and he takes a disappointing bogey here at the 18th. And now Napier will finish up here at 18, try to finish up his bogey. Finish up our play here at the 18th, just as the rain picks up even more. And players are pretty happy to have this one in the books as we wrap up our action here at 18, and we'll switch in just a moment over to the 9th hole, where we will try to finish up our action over there. Players will turn in their scorecards, and a reminder, we'll have the scoring. The live scoring is already up on golfstat.com, and you can get the official scoring. That'll be up in about 15 or 20 minutes after the conclusion of play. And again, a reminder, this is the first of 3 days of stroke play. Play will begin again tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m., again off the numbers 1 and 10 tees. The teams will be seated according to their scores from today's round. Play will start at 7:30 on both sides, and then they'll do it all over again on Tuesday morning, when they'll go again off the numbers 1 and 10 tee in the third and final round of stroke play. That will determine the individual champion and will also determine the team seeding, as the top 4 teams will advance to Wednesday to the semifinals of match play. The semifinals are Wednesday morning, and the championship match scheduled for Wednesday afternoon. One more group remaining to play over at the 9th hole. Get some scenes from around the Raven course here at the gorgeous Destin Golf and Beach Resort. We're just outside of, we're between Destin and Miramar Beach. In just a moment, if we possibly can, we'll try to get you that closing coverage from the 9th hole. We can give you a quick update as we have the unofficial team scoring right now, and it is close all the way through. UT Arlington right now unofficially at 292, 8 over par. Texas State and Coastal Carolina both at 294, that's 10 over par. And then just one more stroke back, Georgia Southern and South Alabama both unofficially at 295, 11 over par. So you have one at 8, and then, of course, there are some scores still to be posted for those. And then 4 teams all within one shot of each other in a virtual logjam between 2nd and 5th place. So team scoring still very close after the first round, which was just what we expected to happen. And, of course, you can, as soon as play is over, in fact, you can go right now to golfstat.com and see the current scores that have been posted, and the official scores will be available just about 15 minutes after play is concluded. And as we said, there is one group still remaining on the 9th hole. And we are efforting to get some coverage of that last group over there. That group includes Tanner Gore of UT Arlington, Justin Warren of Little Rock, and Logan Davis of Texas State. And last we saw, they were in the fairway at the 9th hole. We can tell you that individually, among players that are in, it looks like 1 under par is going to be our individual leader. And we have at least 3 players at that point. Paul Gonzalez of Texas Arlington, possibly. Alvaro Carroll Estrems of Texas State. And Stephen Fisk of Georgia Southern, all unofficially at 1 under, as is Tanner Napier of Arkansas State. And, of course, again, those are very unofficial scores. But right now we've got a 4-way tie for first place in the individual chase, everybody at 1 under par. And we'll go back out to the 9th fairway. And this, I don't think this is still his second shot. This must be the 3rd shot for Logan Davis. He must have been, I don't know if he was in a divot or something, but he's been out there for about, if this is still his second shot, he's been out there for about 15 minutes. And I don't know what the issue is. But it looks like he's finally going to place and hit. Davis, a junior from Humble, Texas. 5 over par through his first 14 holes today. He's got a couple of birdies, also a couple of double bogeys to go along with 3 bogeys. Must be Davis's 3rd shot, and that was going to fly the green. Going to back up some and back up down the putting surface. It's going to wind up being a pretty good shot for his 3rd. So Davis will have that left for par here at the 9th. At greenside, Tanner Gore of UTA. And back there also behind everybody is Justin Warren of Little Rock. As he flew the green, you can see his ball back there in the pine straw and the fighting with the trees and the pine cones and so forth. And he'll be setting up for his 3rd shot. Warren, a junior from Picton, Australia. Seven over par for today. He's got 3 doubles on his card, also has 3 birdies, 4 bogeys, and that was through 14 holes. He'll walk up and take a look at it halfway there, as behind him, Tanner Gore will be putting through the fringe for his 3rd shot. Warren trying to more distance than anything else as he's trying to find a landing spot with this all the rain that has already fallen has made this an even more challenging shot as far as where to land it. You don't want it to hit a flyer out of that lie. You also don't want to just get it halfway there and have it stop in the wet grass. So a tough little shot for Justin Warren here at the 9th. Landing it just on the fringe, and this is going to slide on by a little bit with all the wet, but it'll hold the green, and he'll have that left for a par. So now Tanner Gore of UT Arlington, 4 over par for the day, a couple of birdies, 4 bogeys, and a double bogey. Putting through the fringe, got caught up in it a little bit, and that's going to stop well short. Had a couple of bounces before it got through the fringe, so Tanner Gore will have a long way to go here for par. So there are no easy par putts out of this group in the final group to come through. While they're lining up their par putts, we'll remind you once again, you can get all of the post-round information on the website. You can also get the scores through golfstat.com and also on a link through the website. And you can come back and join us again tomorrow as play continues with round 2 of the Sun Belt Conference Men's Golf Championships here from the Raven. 7:30 Central Time will be the first tee times off both the numbers 1 and 10 tees. Again, we'll have you action for tomorrow morning and again on Tuesday morning for the final stroke play round, and then the match play competition to determine the conference championship will come on Wednesday. Semifinals in the morning and the championship finals in the afternoon. This will be Logan Davis. It's his first year with the Texas State program, played his first 2 years at the University of Houston. Par putt, that's going to stay out to the right and roll well past. You can still see the wind blowing pretty good and making that rain even more aggravating as it's falling consistently now as Justin Warren looks over his putt. Also in his first year at Little Rock, he spent his last 2 years at South Mountain Community College, where his team won the national championship in 2016 when he was a freshman. He was a first-team All-American that year, and his putt's going to stay out left. So everybody reading a little more break into it than was there here at the 9th. A couple of bogey putts left, and Tanner Gore now will be trying to save par. Big for the team score as UTA is right in the hunt for the team lead after the first day, as this one goes sliding by and goes sliding considerably by, about 5 feet coming back. So now everybody putting for bogey, and they are absolutely stumbling to the finish here at the 9th hole. Logan Davis will be first up. He's got about 5 feet coming back for bogey, and he's able to roll that one in. It'll be Tanner Gore's turn. about the same length putt to save bogey. Rolls that one in. And Justin Warren of Little Rock just with one little tap in left to finish play for the day, as it's getting considerably darker in the last 5 minutes here at the Raven. And that rolls in, and everybody's going to run for cover now as we have completed play here at the 9th hole. And one more time, a reminder, the official scoring will be available on golfstat.com. The official scoring will be up in about 10 or 15 minutes after the conclusion, now that we have finished play. Unofficial scores are there now. Other information post-tournament, post-round today, also available here on the Sunbelt website, sunbeltsports.org. Make sure to join us again tomorrow for round 2 of the Sunbelt Conference Men's Golf Championship. Action will begin at 7:30 a.m. Central Time off both the numbers 1 and 10 tees. Thanks to everybody who made this possible. Big thanks to our camera guys who braved the weather all day long. Thanks to Travis Llewellyn, our producer and director of the Sunbelt staff. And most of all, thanks to all of you for watching us here today on the Sunbelt Conference Men's Golf Championships.